So Angie, you saw the first video, and you could see that the point we were trying to make is that we take our imaginations and we superimpose those over objects when we make truth in the world. Is that reasonable to you? Does that make sense to you now?
Yeah, I'm following.
So, it might not be apparent right off the bat, but it is something that's pretty clear and pretty easy if you focus on it and pay attention to it for even just for a minute. The second video that we're doing now is about how we create the truth of ourself. And we create the truth of ourself in exactly the same way that we create the truth of the world. And that is, we accumulate truths based on our body. It's where we're located in time and space. And we build them up and build them up and build them up. And that becomes our self-image. And that self-image is who we say or think we are. And in fact, that's a pile of self-centered imaginings. In exactly the same way that we build up imaginings or truths in the world. Does that make sense?
Sure, your own experiences are the only things you know to be real.
Exactly. Okay. So once we find out that we create truth in the world and that we create the truth of ourself, the next step is for us to be aware of the fact that we can control that process. We can take charge of what truths we create in the world. We can use our imagination the way we see fit. And we can also take charge of our self-image and say, well, this is the image that I'm going to cultivate because it's what works best for me in terms of making me happy or making me satisfied. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So this runs contrary to what happens to many people who are not satisfied and not happy, and that they feel that they don't have any control over what's going on in their life. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay, so if we can agree that we create truth in the world, and if we can agree that we create the truths of ourself by imagining things about ourselves, that's all we need to do for these two videos.
It's pretty simple.